It's been a few minutes. I had to set everything back up again. Yeah, there we go. There's the push notification again. Must be a pain in the ass, but what you gonna do? But yeah, Splatoon 2, Splatfest, whatever. Let's get this loaded up. This is... I still cannot... This is one of the few multiplayer shooters that even however long later, I'm still playing. I don't think... Maybe with the exception of the original Splatoon, I don't think I've ever stuck around on a shooter this long. Even ones I really liked. Actually, let's make that a point of discussion. It's just Splatoon. There's nothing... I'm doing this for fun, but, and this is really the only reason I play Splatoon 2 anymore, is the Splatfest. I mean, every once in a while I sit down and do the, salmon run stuff just to get the gear. I missed out on last month. I just completely spaced it. Okay, I don't like Muscle Forge Fitness. Manta Maria's okay. I am curious to see what this safety station is like. Because I don't think they tease this one. I don't like the Clash Blaster. I don't like blasters in general. Wasn't there supposed to be a new umbrella? Didn't the Sorella umbrella come out? Or am I forgetting about something? What shoes are... Whatever. Now, between the two, I come from a family that's big into baseball. I'm gonna be honest. My father's from New York, so he's a big... Well, he grew up in New York anyways. So he's big into baseball, Yankees, right? But I'm actually gonna choose football. Yeah, I know here in the States we call it soccer. I still really call it football. But I'm surprised though, because, you know, the interesting thing about these Splatfests is for all the choices they pick, I never feel like they pick the right ones. Like, the first ever Splatfest was ketchup versus mayo. It should have been ketchup versus mustard. I feel like mustard is a much bigger thing. See, you can tell the last time I played was the Splatfest because of that weapon. And now this one. I felt like this could have totally been baseball versus American football. Because American football is kind of... I mean, I know baseball claims it's America's pastime. And that used to be true. Not anymore, really. I mean, the Super Bowl is the most, viewed event in America, last I checked. So, I feel like they could have actually had a really, interesting battle with baseball versus American football, but instead we just got real football, or soccer. I don't know. But I'm picking soccer just because, as a betting man, I can see soccer winning. Like, I can totally see all the votes going to baseball popularity-wise, but then soccer stealing it up in the end. Just call it a hunch. But yeah, when it comes to shooters, I've been going through and I've been inventorying, all of my games. I own a lot of games. I mean, it's kind of a bad indicator. I mean, the list isn't perfect. I have a list of everything, but it's not perfect because a lot of them are PC games that, I bought, 80 of them for, $50. So it's not the best indicator of overall, but I have found some interesting things. I found my old Game Boy Advance. It sucks, I still don't have the back. When I was young, really young, I lost the back and I have no idea where it is. I have the Game Boy, just the original, right? Ooh, no. And then there's just a bunch of other things. I've showed off some of my boxes in the past over on Twitter, where I just have these green containers just full of Atari. God, really nothing? Just all sorts of games. It's fun. But I'm kind of as part of this, I'm kind of going through and seeing, oh, what games do I like? What games do I not like? Right? Favorite genres and all that. I mean, some of this I've already known. Platformers is a good one. I didn't do Celeste on stream, but I have done Shovel Knight, and we will be doing Shovel Knight King of Cards whenever that comes out. I hope that comes out. I'm expecting it to launch the same time as the Amiibo, and I feel like the Amiibo were announced a long time ago. So I really hope when they tell us like, oh, King of Cards is coming out in May, and the Amiibo are also coming out the same day. That would be really cool. I mean, it's been a year since Spectre of Torment. It's been a year and like a month. Finally, team. So that's my hope. I hope we get it sooner rather than later. But we'll see. We'll see. I really hope we don't have to wait until like summer or fall, because I think they did say Q1. Now, if I'm correct, they did recently add a new stage to the game. They also, I'm pretty sure they also added in the Sorella umbrella, which I know has been in the game's code for a long time now. Like, we knew about the Sorella umbrella before we knew about the Tent umbrella. That's how long it's been here. So, yeah, that was cool. And then I don't remember the new stage. Was it a basketball court? You know what else you know what would have been also an interesting game? I mean, the final March Madness just ended. I don't keep, when it comes to sports, I don't really keep up on sports. I'm a gamer. I don't even like esports, honestly. I don't get the appeal of esports. I never have, never will. Probably. I mean, something could come along. Like, I tried watching the Overwatch League, and I like Overwatch. I've grown bitter towards the game, but that's because of who I play. God, no cure for stupidity, as they say. Not like I'm good either. Again, it's one of the multiplayer shooters, but I just cannot get into esports. I try, and it's just not my style. But where was I going? Game cataloging. So, like, I've always liked platformers, right? But, like, back in December, I think it was, I went on this big Twitter thing about how I don't like JRPGs. And, yeah, one of these things that's coming out as I catalog everything is that I like shooters. Normally, I don't think, oh, I'm not a big fan of shooters. Because when I think of shooters, I think of your Call of Duties, your whatnots. But no, I actually like shooters. But the catch is single-player shooters. I like your Bioshocks, your Uncharted, your what's another big one? Bioshock, Uncharted, and there's just a bunch of other good single-player shooters out there. But when it comes to like multiplayer shooters, I just not really that my style. I mean, there are exceptions. Splatoon 2, I'm playing it right now, so let that be an indicator. Another one is Titanfall. I enjoyed both Titanfalls, actually. I enjoyed. There's another. I like the single player campaign of Titanfall 2. But God, I hope we won that. I have no idea. Yeah, no, we did. But yeah, I like Titanfall. I like Overwatch. I don't play it very much, if at all. But I like shooters, and I never thought of myself as someone who did. Because when I think of shooters, you know, you think of the Battlefield, the Call of Duty guys. But no, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm level. I'm still, I don't play this game. Like, I have someone on my friends list who's played it for, I want to say almost 200 hours. Maybe even over that now. I don't know how. I do not know how you put this much time into an online shooter. I mean, even though I'm enjoying this, I don't get it. Because that was my problem with the first well, I kind of did it with both Titanfalls, is I played them, I really enjoyed them, and then I just never picked them up again. Like, once I set it down, it never picked it up. One of the few this game, the Splatoons, and Garden Warfare, the first one, never played the second one. I put a lot of time into the first Garden Warfare, more than most other shooters. Well, multiplayer. That one was pretty fun. Ooh. Oh, okay, we're doing grappling hooks. That's kind of neat. I mean, it gives an advantage to a sniper, I'll give him that. This is a really... See, they can sometimes do really interesting things with these, shifty stations. Not always. I have complained on multiple occasions about some pretty bad shifty stations. I at least got a few off. Did I? It doesn't... I know that... Ah, God. Okay, let's see what you got. Ah, shoot. I was hoping I didn't see the other two. Ooh, this isn't pretty. This is a very rudimentary shifty station. I'll give it that. Like, it does not feel complex at all. Ah, I was hoping to at least have killed one of them. Are we... I don't think we're missing someone. I hope we're not. Oh, God damn it. This is gonna suck. I have no idea where that bamboozler is. Yeah, no, we're missing a bamboozler. Oh, shit. I didn't even recognize they were there. Okay, this kind of sucks for doing this. I'll fully admit that. Wow, they got a sniper shot off or something right there. Actually, we lost. I don't think we have that. Yeah, no. Oh gosh, that was not pretty at all. It's a very simple shifty stations. I mean, I've seen some cool gimmicks. The invisible wall one was really cool, even if I think I only played it like 4 times. Oh my god, they had 3 of those? Holy shit. There were some other good shifty stations I've seen as well. Anyone with a rotating center sucks. This one doesn't have that, but it kind of reminds me of the one where the platforms went back and forth. That was like the first or second shifty stations. I think it may have been the first one, actually. Which, I didn't really care for that one. I mean, it wasn't the worst. I'm trying to think of one I really loved. You know, I mean, it's not as... I think, was it the last Splatfest or the one before that had the pyramid? The pyramid was a neat idea. It was such a big map, though. Like, it was a little too... I think that was not the one before last. What was I just thinking of? Oh, I was thinking about... I went and found my old Game Boy. And, you know, I don't have that many Game Boy games. I have less than 10. Well, physical. I mean, some of them I admittedly cannot find. I cannot find my copy of Super Mario Land. I don't know where it is. But yeah, I didn't have that many, like, for having a Game Boy, I did not have that many games. I mean, like, I had some of the I had Metroid 2, I had Tetris. Where are they? Ah, shoot. I had Pokemon. Who didn't have Pokemon? Kirby's Adventure. But it makes me think, I'm totally on board for the idea of a Game Boy Classic. I think they could totally do, because I mean, look at the 2DS. The 2DS is... shoot! God damn it. I was hoping it wasn't going to be that far away. The 2DS, it's what? It's a system, 2 screens, one of which is a touch screen. It has a cartridge slot for what, like 80 bucks or something like that? That's not bad at all. So if they can do that, again, 2 screens, cartridge slot, they could do a Game Boy for probably about the same, if less, even. And like a Game Boy where you can like play, and maybe it'll finally be a backlit Game Boy, because that's, I mean, that's kind of one of the problems with, that's one of the stupid things about, like, I cannot believe something like the Game Boy Advance came out without a backlit screen. I mean, I know they fixed it with the SP, but the original launch of the Game Boy didn't, they still had, didn't have, or the Game Boy Advance did not have a backlit screen. It's an advanced. It should have. I mean, the Game Boy Color, I get. The Game Boy Color was basically just the Game Boy, just with color. Didn't have a Game Boy Color. Nope. Come on, die. Okay, I didn't want to shoot at the one guy, but okay, I'll take it. Oh, I actually got them? I'll take it, I guess. We may have actually, if we pushed correctly, we may have actually taken that. We may have. Barely. Nah, nice, nice. We just pushed correctly. That wasn't too bad. I'll take it. I'll take right under 1,000. Ooh, and 7 for victory. I have no, again, I'm expecting to lose a bunch, because that's usually how these Splatfests work, is I lose a lot, and yeah. I think the only Splatfest that has actually gone well for me is, I think it was Love versus Money. Yeah. But yeah, Game Boy Classic. That's, I know a lot of people want N64 Classic this year. I don't think it would, I don't think it could, I can see it happening, but unless they get Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, they shouldn't do it. I know people want GoldenEye. Have you played it? No. No, it's not. Well, okay, with the exception of if they made the controllers, instead of using the stupid Wii port, they made it USB, and as part of the USB, you could use mouse and keyboard that worked specifically for GoldenEye. Like, they updated it. If they did that, and I mean the licensing is still all over the place, that would make it worth it. Honestly, we're talking about shooters. GoldenEye is it's a pretty, I mean, if you have that, it's a pretty good shooter. I mean, with the exception of maybe like Aztec Complex, which, oh god, Aztec Complex, no, thank you. It's pretty solid. I get the appeal. And the again, it does not hold up the way you think. Like, your memories of it are not what the game's like at all. That's what okay, this leads us into our next topic. Freaking, remakes and remasters. I might as well, because the Switch is, a lot of people are complaining that 2018 is kind of like a port year for the Switch, and I totally get it. I see where they're coming from. Personally, though, I don't really have a problem with some of these ports. I totally get. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I owned a Wii. I own Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. It's a great game, but I have no interest in buying it again. What they did to the game is not a substantial enough addition. If they had and plus it's $60. If they had packaged both games, one Donkey Kong Country Returns in Tropical Freeze in a single package, and then maybe added some new content other than just a Funky Kong mode, it would be worth it. Honestly, I would probably buy it again. Mainly for the original Donkey Kong Country Returns, which I did not play the 3DS port. I had the Wii version of. But yeah, it's good platformers. But no, it's a very underwhelming port. Hyrule Warriors. I've said this before, I think. I don't like the Dynasty Warriors games. Just not my style. But I may pick up Hyrule Warriors. I've heard a lot of good things from a lot of different people about those games. They do seem like good games. They're good games, Brent. So I can totally see the appeal. But, so we're getting all these ports. And I don't have a problem with it. I can see why people do. Though, because I mean, it's just Nintendo kind of doesn't do a good job at porting things. Their ports aren't as good as other companies. I mean, did we just get we just got a port of something. And I mean, I'll talk about Spyro here in a minute. But we just got, and it was like, this is a port. This is what ports should be. Because it had a bunch of new substantial content that was like, yeah, this made it worth it. This is what ports should be like. But Nintendo just, nah. And as a Wii U owner, it does suck. If you didn't own a Wii U, like a majority of people, oh yeah, we won that. You're bound to have a good time. Some of those ports are pretty good. And then there's remasters. So we got Crash Bandicoot last year. Awesome. I even played it. I borrowed a PS4 from a friend in October. And like over the span of a single day, I played through all of the first Crash Bandicoot. Because I was going to do a video on Cuphead that I just never did because I'm the worst. But yeah, no, it's a good port because it remasters all the graphics. It adds some new. It didn't really add that much, but it was a solid remaster. And then it's coming out on Switch in a few months, I think, in June or July. I'll probably honestly pick it up because I enjoyed the Crash one. I mean, again, going back to that game thing I was talking about earlier, I don't really care for 3D platformers. I mean, they're fine, but in the battle between 2D and 3D platformer, 2D all the way. Yeah. So then we get... Have I really only done 4 battles? Holy shit, I feel like I've been going forever. But so we got Spyro. Now, Spyro's your typical Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong, 3D, a bunch of other games, collectathon. I know some people were worried that, oh, maybe it has not aged well. I kind of have faith in the developers. I mean, yeah, sure, it'll probably be fine. It probably will have aged fine. I mean, Crash aged fine. I mean, well, mostly. I feel like the difficulty can be a little too, yeah, because, you know, you're making a 3D platformer, and 3D platformers with precision jumping is not always, not a good thing, and that's why the bridge level sucks in Crash, and everyone kind of knows it as well. Really? Okay, whatever. really, God, that's not... So Spyro, I'm on board with the port. I know there are some people who are really happy, and it was not announced. It's coming to PS4 and Xbone, not announced for Switch yet. There is kind of this Nintendo UK thing going around, and I think it is definitely going to come. I don't know if it'll be right now. It'll probably be hopefully within this year. But maybe there's just taking some time. Is the Insane Trilogy coming to Steam? Because I know Spyro's coming to Xbone and PS4, but it's not coming to Steam. So maybe both those ports are coming out at a later time. We'll see. But I'm planning on picking up the Insane Trilogy. So I'll probably pick up Spyro, because I've never played the Spyro games. The first time I played a Crash game was only a few months ago. I've said this before. Yeah, it was only a few months. God damn it. God, I feel like I'm going all over the place. I am going all over the place here. My brain just keeps farting. You know what I mean? But I will probably pick it up when it comes to Switch, whenever that is. People have been saying that maybe the reason it's not coming to Switch at launch is because they're waiting for the Insane Trilogy to come out on Switch, and they're using that as a place to test the waters. My response to that, though, is how many games are going to have to come out? How many systems are going to have to sell before we're done testing the waters? I mean, the Switch has already outsold the Wii U. I do want to point out, though, that this is not what the developer said or anything. This is what fans are saying. So, and I think they're full of shit. I think the Switch is at a point where it's sold more than the Wii U did in a year. It's on track to being one of the highest selling consoles of all time. I think we're beyond the test the waters phase at this point. Nintendo's shown they know what they're doing. So I think we're gonna get the game eventually. It's just a matter of time. I knew we did. They had oh my god, they had so many blotches in their base, but they were spending all that time defending, so they made up for it. And then people were talking about, hey, well, I saw this on the No, admittedly, but they were talking about other remasters, and they brought up Link's Awakening. I'm actually totally down if they maybe if they made a new version of Link Between Worlds engine and put it on the Switch. I mean, if they put it on the 3DS, fuck them. But if they put it on the Switch, Link's Awakening remaster, but on top of that, they should bundle in the Oracle games. I keep talking about how Nintendo they're doing all these ports, which is fine, but I feel like they keep fucking them up. I feel like a great way to gain back some trust is if they did a remaster of Link's Awakening, but they also did Oracles of Ages, Seasons, and even Minish Cap. I mean, they're all kind of similar-ish. I mean, Oracle of Ages, Seasons, and Minish Cap were all made by Capcom. And Link's Awakening is kind of Link's Awakening and Link to the Past are kind of the Zelda games where Zelda came into its own. As weird as that sounds, it's kind of true. And I would totally be on board for a remake. I mean, they'd have to do Link's Awakening DX, and I think both the Oracle games probably hold up fine. But some new content, maybe. It'd be nice. But I think it's a good idea for them to do all three, maybe even 4. Because those are some good games. I mean, I remember up until Link Between Worlds came out, I used to say Minish Cap was my favorite 2D Zelda. And then Link Between Worlds came out, and it was just... I love Link Between Worlds. I just really... It was... For the longest time, it was arguably my favorite Zelda game. It does so much right. It's so enjoyable. It's clearly like testing grounds for other Zelda mechanics, like what we saw in Breath of the Wild. And that's kind of cool. I just really enjoy it. And I think using its engine, I do worry though, because like we see from like Mario and Luigi's Dream Team, that using an engine too much can kind of get annoying. I mean, how many games have used Dream Team's engine now? What? They've basically remade every Mario and Luigi game except for Partners in Time is using Dream Team's engine. And I'm kind of sick of it. I feel like we should get a new engine with new graphics. Right? That would be kind of nice, because throwing in a new look every once in a while is pretty nice. But we'll see, we'll see. So I do kind of maybe an upgraded version of Link Between Worlds engine, because it does have flaws. It's not perfect. It's kind of like the X and Y engine where it's really chibi. There's a rumor going around about a leaked screenshot for Pokemon. Have you guys seen that? It basically, I don't buy it for a second. People are adamant it's real. No, because, I mean, yes, it is a console Pokemon game, and I know people have high expectations, and it does look very similar graphically to Sun and Moon. Now, I don't hate Sun and Moon as much as a bunch of other people do. I do see some of the problem with Sun and Moon. Don't get me wrong. It's not perfect. There are definitely some advancements that I do hope this new Switch Pokemon game does take. Skippable tutorial, thank you very much. But I still enjoy Sun and Moon at the end of the day. I seem to be one of the few people who actually likes X and Y. There's just this giant backlash towards X and Y. And I don't fucking get it at all. It's not a bad game in the slightest. It's not a perfect game, mind you. But I enjoy X and Y. I see how it has its problems as well. I mean, the art style is very chibi. And that was one of the things Sun and Moon did fix. Of course, then you get into Ultra Sun and Moon, which I still stand by. They should have just done Eclipse version. I was watching a video earlier today, and they were talking about how, enhanced versions, like third enhanced versions, we're done with. We don't need enhanced versions anymore. And I was like, why? Why not? Because I mean, a lot of people nowadays, not at the time, this is the Pokemon curse, is that at the time, unless you were growing up with it, if you're like older, you usually hate the modern Pokemon game, but then a few generations down the line, you like it in retrospect. So, Diamond and Pearl, again, it's been a while, but if I remember, which I probably don't, they were not too liked at the time. But now we've come along, people really like Diamond and Pearl, and Platinum is being heralded as like one of the greatest Pokemon games, and that was a third version. And I feel like if Sun and Moon had done like Twilight or Dusk, just one of those, they could, or Eclipse even, they could have gotten away with that same idea, that it's an enhanced third version. But instead they decided to break them up into two games. It's not really that advanced, there weren't that many new features, it was just kind of disappointing overall. That's the problem with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And there's just a bunch of other problems that have been plaguing Pokemon for... A lot of people say that, all Pokemon games are the same. I mean, you're right. But, I mean, they do have their niches that make them different. But I argue Pokemon games really start to, like, come into feeling the same around Gen 4. Gen 4 is the first generation where I'm like, from here on out, Gen 5 felt very similar to Gen 4. Gen 6 felt similar to Gen 5. Of course, the major difference between Gens 5 and those, and I still stand to this about Gen 5, Gen 5 was trying to recapture the magic of Gen 1. All new Pokemon, their designs were mostly simple, and it was just trying to recapture the magic of Gen 1. And in some ways, God, I ran out of ink. Some ways, I argue it kind of succeeded. A lot of people at the time didn't like Black and White. Because the best way I can describe Gen 5 is imagine if Gen 1 was made in like 2011. That's Gen 5. And a lot of people didn't like that because, as I and many other people do state, Gen 1 is not that good. Like, at all. I played the Virtual Console re-release for the first time in a long time since the original Blue since I had the original Blue. There's another game I can't find. And yeah, no, it kind of sucks. Come on. I don't, Gen 1 is not that good. People herald it as this classic, and while it is important for later games, like it creates Pokemon, nah, it has not held up. Same thing with Gen 2. Gen 2 is a mess. People don't admit it, but it's a mess. I suck using Tentamissiles. I mean, I feel like it's very good in these Splatfests, but yeah, no, Gen 2 has a grinding problem. They're like, even Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which again was an enhanced version, didn't really fix that problem. It's still grindy as hell. And people herald Gen 2 way too high. It's not that amazing. Gen 3 is when I do think the games start to get good. Like, they figured it out by this point. And then Gen 4 hits the final nails on the coffin and is like, yep, this is the Pokemon formula. The physical special split takes it a long way. Or, I think that was Gen 4. And I know Pokemon games have gotten more and more complicated. New items, Ultra abilities, Z moves, and whatnot. But really, an hour of Pokemon hours of Pokemon tutorial at the beginning of every game, unskippable. That's, I think, more... Having tutorial there is fine for new players, but it should be skippable. Because that's... Oh my god, just... that was playing through X and Y again, I don't even remember... Shit, we're so close. If I hadn't died there at the end. X and Y did not have that long of a tutorial. Like, I started it up again, it was probably late last year. And I played through, and like, by the time, it took me maybe 10 minutes to get my first Pokemon, maybe an hour to the first gym. That's not bad at all. Sun and Moon takes you like 3 hours just to get to the first trial captain. I feel like X and Y get way too much shit. They're fine games. They're good games, Brett. Have you seen that? Have you seen that meme floating around? Memes are so stupid. They're going, like, just this week. It's like, I've seen like 4 memes I've never seen before. And within like a week, they'll be gone. They'll be dead memes. Well, actually, it's been longer than a week. The chair one. The one with the guy throwing the chair. That one I do actually kind of like. The sparkles I don't fucking get at all. We went from evil Patrick to now like a SpongeBob wiping off his face from the exact same episode, same scene. I have no idea where that came from, and I don't even get that meme. But there's the one going around right now where it's like, oh, it's like, cats don't suck, you guys are just mean. And that's, X and Y doesn't suck, you guys are just mean. I stand by it. No, I started playing it up late last year, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed playing through Gen 4 last year. Pretty good. There's a lot of good Pokemon games. I mean, it's not a perfect franchise. I'd argue... I was about to say, I'd argue it doesn't have a bad, like, game within its main core. But Gen 1 hasn't... I mean, at the time they were good. But much like a lot of these other things, they have not aged well. I do totally stand by... Even though I don't like Gen 1, I think it's a flawed region and all that, I do stand by that they could, kind of like Sun and Moon set up, they could make a remake of Gen 1, and it would probably be really good. Like, they could do that. Like, that could be the Switch's Pokemon game. A Gen 1 remake. I'm not entirely against it. It's just the ending of Sun and Moon set it up so much. What else do I... God, I've been all over the place. Spyro, Pokemon, Game Boy Classic. See, this is what we talk about during these Splatoon streams. Nothing, it's just sitting back, relaxing, talking about game stuff. I was going to go somewhere. Talk about shooters and my disdain for them. Multiplayer. God damn it. Okay, I'll get that area right there. I need another topic to talk about. I mean, we still got a good hour. Where are they? Oh my gosh, are they all splatted? Shoot, I only hit the one. Oh wow, and they're already dead. No snap. Okay, yeah, we got that. I doubt they came back through the center. Yeah, no, we... Nice, nice. Oh, you know what else I want to talk... You know what else I can think about talking about? Spider-Man. There was a... So, we get... This was a few days ago now. I haven't streamed since then. We got some new information about the Spider-Man game. Insomniac's PS4. It comes out, it comes out in like September, like 21st or something, and then Spyro Remastered comes out like a week later or vice versa or something. They both come out in September, and there's like 2 other big games that are coming out in September. September is a packed month. We got all those in September. When does Nintendo Switch Online service launch? Is that in September? Because if that's in September as well, that means Smash Bros. Is coming out in September, because they're going to coincide. There's not a chance in hell they aren't. Let me Google this real quick. Nintendo Switch Online. Let's see what we got. I know you had a release date. Oh god, remember? Free until September 2018. So there is the very distinct possibility that Smash Bros. May come out in September, assuming they don't push back the online again, which, honestly, they could totally do that. Isn't that amazing? Because I remember Smash 4, the 3DS version anyways, like the Wii U version came out in like October or something. But, like, the 3DS version came out, or the Wii U version came out, like, November, like, 16th or 20th or something. The Wii U version, though, or the 3DS, God, I'm all over the place, came out in, like, October 30th. So they could push it earlier. I mean, Odyssey came out in, Odyssey came out the end of October and not November, like, literally everyone expected. So they could totally do Smash Bros. In September. I mean, it's still, I mean, yes, it's not coming out at the holiday, but it's still coming out before the holiday, and that's what really matters, right? I mean, I'm not a I took some marketing, but I'm not a marketing genius or anything, so I don't see a problem with it coming out before, as long as it comes out before holiday. So yeah, Smash could coincide. So god, we got a really packed September. And if I finally do buy, I've said this at least once before. I do plan on buying a oh shoot, you were smart. I plan, this may not happen. I just did my taxes, it's, oh god. Stupid Trump's tax plan. I make less money this year than I did last year, and I owe more in taxes this year. Such a hell. But, shit. We're kind of even right now, kind of. But, I do plan, assuming they do, so last year they did this gold PS4 bundle right, for E3, right? Genius idea. They also did an E3 sale, which, I know Steam has Steam sales, but I feel like a lot of these, like the console companies, should treat E3 like their own personal Steam sale, where they put a bunch of games on sale for really cheap. Consoles just need to do Steam sales. Steam sales, from what I can tell, Steam sales seems to do the PC great work. And with Nintendo Switch kind of being the indie platform darling right now, may not be a bad idea for them to finally do it. Because, I mean, Steam is so saturated with crap right now. Again, going back to that, I own hundreds of PC games. A lot of them aren't worth taking a second look at. Really. I think we lost it right there at the very end. Yeah, definitely. But, yeah, that would be cool. But I am considering, assuming they do another sale, gold PS4, doesn't matter, just a PS4, good one. For cheap enough, I may buy a PS4 finally. Finally get that Shadow of the Colossus remake. So I may actually pick up Spider-Man. That would be really cool. Oh, gosh. We really only 47 minutes. God, I feel like we've been doing this forever. But yeah, Spider-Man. Spider-Man, it's you know, if it was anybody else, I'd be worried. But Insomniac has done good things in the past, things I've enjoyed. So I trust them. I think they're going to do a good job with Spider-Man. There are some things that worried me. A lot of people have pointed out the web slinging seems almost mechanical and kind of pre-scripted. And I do kind of get that. It kind of reminds me of like the Ukulele Casino level, where it's like everything was looking good, but there's this one part that does not look very good at all. And I mean, that casino level sucked. Oh my gosh. But I may. I've got if I do get a PS4. Oh my god, Manta Maria was in this map rotation? Oh shit. We have yet to see this map, have we? I forgot this was even here. Oh my gosh, map rotation. What the hell is wrong with you? There's every map rotation. The game's algorithm, when it comes to picking out like 3 maps for the map rotation, during the Splatfest, it always forgets about one. Normally it's Shifty Stations. Shifty Station almost never shows up in the map rotation. You see it all the time. You'll yeah, but wow, I forgot Manta Maria was even here. I love the name, Manta Maria. God, what a great name for a stage. Shit, I was hoping to get him on the way down. Yeah. It's Manta Maria is an okay stage. Honest, it's a little... I feel like I've got bottlenecked like right around here one too many times. But other than that, I feel like it's a good stage overall. It's very vertical, and that's not a problem. Or very horizontal, I mean. Besides for Moray Towers, is there really a vertical stage in this game? Because Moray Towers sucks. Like, it's one of the worst stages. But I do inherently like the idea of a vertical stage. Yeah, honestly, I can only think of Moray Towers. It's so vertical, it sucks. I haven't even, again, I was talking about this earlier, there's a basketball stage I haven't yet to even play. It's probably a fine stage. just hoping you're hitting me